Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
Psalm 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even mine enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell.
English teacher going viral after posting a raw and unfiltered farewell video as she leaves the classroom behind after just 3 years. Listen.
A lot of these kids don't know how to read because they have had things read to them, or they can click a button and have something read out loud to them. I just don't think these kids even care. They don't care about making a difference in the world. They don't care about how to have a resume. They don't care how to write a resume. They don't care how to write a cover letter because ChatGPT will just do it for them. And I think that we need to cut off technology from these kids, probably until they go to college.
A former English teacher going viral after posting a raw and unfiltered farewell video as she leaves the classroom behind after just 3 years. Listen.
A lot of these kids don't know how to read because they have had things read to them, or they can click a button and have something read out loud to them. I just don't think these kids even care. They don't care about making a difference in the world. They don't care about how to have a resume. They don't care how to write a resume. They don't care how to write a cover letter because ChatGPT will just do it for them. And I think that we need to cut off technology from these kids, probably until they go to college.
A former English teacher going viral after posting a raw and unfiltered.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh Bashem Al Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners, whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shah. Alright, and what I want to get into today, is what we're seeing, alright, is the dumbing down of society. And the elites, they want to rule over a bunch of idiots. Okay? They don't want thinkers, they want workers. Okay? They want laborers. They want followers. All right. They don't want leaders. They don't want critical thinking. They don't want, discernment. Okay. They don't want creativity. You see, that's why schools, are meant, to destroy your creativity. All right, and beat you into submission, all right, to this pre-made, world. Okay, this pre-made agenda, this pre-made structure, all right, of being a consumer and a producer. Okay, and the skill set of people are plummeting. As people have more access to technology, all right, their life skills, okay, their essential skills, okay. This society doesn't, produce, fathers and mothers, especially mothers. Mothers are a rare thing. The skill set, all right, the emotional capacity to be a mother, to care for someone else, and their capacity, those things are becoming non-existent in this society. Okay, so we're seeing a deliberate dumb down of society, man. Okay, and the least look at it is that it gives them more leverage over the masses because it makes people more dependent, all right, on this man's technology, man. Okay, it says, I looked it up, it said dumbing down refers to deliberate simplification, all right, and trivialization of intellectual content, potentially impacting education, media, and culture. This can manifest in various ways, including the lowering of intellectual standards in education, the prevalence of superficial content in popular culture, and a decline in critical thinking skills. Okay? A decline in critical thinking skills. And we're seeing that, man. You look at the music, man. You look at, the rappers of today. It's trash. Okay? The way Jake used to come up with, punchlines and, tie things in together and wordplay and word acrobats. That doesn't even exist, man. It's just a dumbed down mumbling of the most basic, simple, all right, just low frequency, okay, but it's a reflection of the society, man. Okay, and it says dumbing down the education. It says this involves simplifying curriculum, lowering expectation, and focusing on rote memorization rather than critical thinking and analysis, man. Okay, which they lowered the standard, of the school grading system. Things that used to be a F is now a D. Grades that used to be a D is now a C. So, we're seeing them, lower the bar, all right, as far as the expectation of grading, which lowers the bar for society, man. Which the school system is already trash, but then now it's even more trash. Okay? It says this can involve oversimplifying, it said dumbing down in media. This can involve oversimplifying complex issues, prioritizing sensationalism over accuracy, and reducing intellectual content to be more palatable, all right, to a wider audience, man. All right, and the things that's presented, being an intellectual, talking about things that truly matter, talking about things that affect day to day. See, that's not, all right, pushed in the media. It's things that have nothing to do with nothing. Okay? Who this celebrity is dating. Why is that such a big topic and issue? Okay? Who this celebrity is beefing with. Who this athlete said this about this athlete. What Charles Barkley said about Anthony Edwards. Now, why is this such a big topic? Okay? And it just lowers the intellectual bar for the masses, man, to where you can barely have a serious conversation about anything meaningful outside of sports, entertainment, okay, and some type of gossip, man. Okay? And it says, verse, with the next chapter, So used to go into the verses. But it said dumbing down in popular culture said this can be seen in the increasing prevalence of superficial and easy digestible content such as reality TV, social media trends, and entertainment that relies on shock value rather than intellectual depth. Okay, and this is why you have, especially the woman, bunch of goddamn airheads, man. Okay, just a bunch of goddamn empty-minded, okay, individuals, man. All right, but because they look a certain way, this society just gives them value. Okay, a lot of men are becoming unskillful. Okay, in this society, because everything is being dumbed down. The basic things that men should be able to do. Well, this society isn't producing that anymore, man. Okay, it says some argue this is a consequence. Some argue that dumbing down can lead to a decline in critical thinking and increase in misinformation, because you can be told anything because you don't know how nothing works. You don't know the truth about anything, so you can be told anything. Easily manipulated. This is what they want. Okay, it said the influence of social media algorithms that prioritize engagement over quality and a focus on standardized testing rather than holistic education can contribute to dumbing down. In essence, dumbing down refers to the perceived trend of prioritizing so like entertainment and accessibility over intellectual depth and critical thinking in various aspects of society, man. Okay, that's why you have all these dumb arguments on social media. Okay, and I always refer back to our grandparents, man. Okay, granddaddy and grandmama weren't arguing about who's the goddamn prize. Okay, they was occupied in real life. Okay, they ain't have time to sit up and have these 3-hour, debates. The red pill movement, and women saying this and a panel of women with their dumbass opinions. Okay, they was occupied in real life. Okay, raising children, providing for children, buildings, establishing things, getting this ready, getting that ready, you know, occupied in skills. Okay? This is a very dumbed down, vain society. All right? And that's why you go here, you get 1 Corinthians. It says, 1 Corinthians 1:21 says, for after that, in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. So the wisdom of this world has separated people. All right, well, Esau Edom has, established his wisdom and, progress in this world through his technology and through his way, his science. All right, people have fell away from, all right, a natural state of being. People exist in a very synthetic state. Okay, that's why people can, focus on these, things that are really not needed. Okay, people have made things that in the ancient world would be a pastime, a career. Okay, or people are honored for, being a writer or a poet, which those things are cool, but those things are not essential. That's not a skill that's needed for to live. Okay, to write a poem, okay, which is, like a rapper or whatever. Okay, to know how to do dance choreography, those things are not essential, all right, to living. Okay, and nothing wrong with these things, but when these things become, all right, the priority over the essentials, you have a society with no skills, but all they know how to do is vanity, man. Okay, so the wisdom of this world, okay, has separated people from the wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. It said it pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe, because in this society, when we speak about the ways of righteousness in the scriptures, we're made to look foolish, man. We're looked at as simple, as if we're Stone Age. A man, leading his house, a man having skills. Okay, they look at that as Stone Age. A woman being in order, a woman, rearing up the children, after the order of the man. They look at that as Stone Age. Women making their own clothes and, cooking a lot of things from scratch. They look at that as Stone Age, man, as outdated. We went so far beyond that, but those same people are complete idiots, man. To where you have a generation that can barely read and write now, man. Esau is breeding zombies, man. Degenerates, alphabet, okay, complete zombies, and he's able to have his way with the world dumbed down. He's able to say anything and do anything because everyone is becoming so dumbed down, man. All right, and you jump down, and it says, verse 25. It says, because the foolishness of the Most High is wiser than men, and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than men. Okay, and the simplicity of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai is way beyond, okay, all Esau's technicians and engineers and computer techs and scientists, that's in the lab getting, doing all these different things. No, the simplicity of Yahweh Shai is wiser than all right, the wisdom of this world, man. Okay, and this is what we've come back into, man. Because there's a natural way, and in that natural way, it doesn't create the stress of this society, man. And then it equips people with the skills, all right, that makes it easy on everyone, man. Okay, this world is under a major strain because people are constantly being dumbed down. Okay, society is becoming dependent on tech. Okay, and then when you become dependent on tech, Esau becomes God. Okay, you see? So you go here. This is why the scriptures say. Let's get this. All right. Get this in the book of Sirach. chapter 1. All right, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 1, verse 14. Well, I started 14 said, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb. So the fear of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai is the beginning of wisdom. And this society, pushes, this society bypasses. Esau Edom pushes to bypass the fear of the Lord. Okay, and he thinks that he can establish some type of wisdom outside of that. And we see what it's led to, man. Okay, or people that has just completely, been downgraded, man. A completely degenerate society. Okay, the quality of people, is going backwards, man. Because we know we as Israelites have degenerated, but people in general in this society have become degenerate, man. There's this poor quality. Okay, it's a poor quality of people in the earth. All right, because you get that word degenerate, it says having lost or suffered impairment to the qualities proper to the race or kind. Now we fell as Israelites as we was this noble, righteous people in the earth, and we fell away from those qualities that were associated with us being the sons of God. Okay, being endowed, with the breath, the Holy Spirit. Okay. Having, being intimate with the Most High as a nation, as a people. Okay, we fell away from that as a race, all right, or a kind, which were Israelites. And you just look at, the generations of today. Everyone has fell away from, the quality of people, all right, that the world used to produce, man. All right, you see, it says, to be inferior to one's ancestors, to become unlike one's race or kind, fall from ancestral quality, use of physical as well as moral qualities. Okay, and this is what we're seeing. Okay, of things unworthy, debased, having fallen in quality, all right, or passed to an inferior state, man. And this is what we've seen, man. Okay. I say, even if you go just look at our grandparents, man, things have become way more inferior, man. The quality of people that's in the earth is inferior even to our grandparents and their parents, man. How much more you keep going back, man. But it's under the rule of Esau Edom that is like this, man. Okay, because the earth is being ran by a degenerate, man. Okay, as we always get this. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 2. It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Okay, so this man is a degenerate that rules the earth. He's a base man. He's been propped up. The Lord has, given him the world, and he given him, particular wisdom, on the left hand side, that he operates in. But to the core, this man is a degenerate, a damn fool. Okay, and people have become degenerate fools, man. All right, and that's why in the kingdom, all right, we'll just go here. This is why the Lord has us tapping into wisdom now, because our kingdom is going to be a kingdom of wisdom. It's going to be on a high frequency, man. The conversations in the kingdom are just going to be on such another level than what we see now. The things that are popular and trending, the things that people hold in high regard won't even be a thing in the kingdom, man. 2nd Ezra 2:11 says, their glory also will I take unto me, and give these the everlasting tabernacles which I have prepared for them. And this is Israel getting those immortal bodies. Okay, when we're delivered. Okay, we're gonna have the glory of the Most High upon us, which is immortality, man. All right, which the devil, he doesn't have access to. It says, they shall have the tree of life for an ointment, a sweet savior. They shall neither labor nor be weary. Okay, so the tree of life, man, goes into this wisdom, this understanding. All right, we're gonna be opened up even more than what we have now. And we're going to have the top influence in the earth. Going back to protos, the word in the Greek for first, which is protos. which we're gonna have the chief rank and influence. All right, and we're gonna have an abundance of wisdom and righteousness, man. Okay, which is it's gonna be a tree of life in the earth. It's gonna cause life to prosper in the earth, man. Okay, on all levels, man, from people to animals, you know, the environment, everything is gonna prosper due to that wisdom ruling the earth, man. And that's why you can end it here. Let me see. It just came up. It's Wisdom of Solomon 6:24. It says, "But the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world. It's for the benefit of the world." Wise rulers, man. And a wise king, beginning with Yahushua, okay, is the upholding of the people. Okay, so these heathens, they will not have access, you know, to the new covenant. Okay, they will not have access to immortality, spiritual powers. Okay, but after 1,000 years, they will be able to enjoy the benefits and the perks that come with having righteous rulers in the earth. They will have a much better experience, all right, in the earth than under Esau, Edom. Okay, a far better. Okay, so that's the point, you know. Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified. Till next time, I say shalom. Kwame Mashallah, Abba, Soon, shalom.